of Delmarva, songster Peter Dale Wimbrow. Wimbrow was an American composer, radio artist, and writer.
His credits include a number of recordings in the 1920s, a man worth studying, and these two women have done exactly that, and they are taking time later on this week to teach people like you and me about what they've learned. Joining us this afternoon, Dr. Diana Wagner and Dr. Louise Anderson. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure.
It's wonderful to have you. So tell us about this upcoming lecture and performance.
So we will be presenting information about Peter Dale Wimbrow Sr., who was born in Whaleyville in 1894. And we're going to present information about his background, his history, but mostly we're interested in what his songs have to tell us about the Delmarva Peninsula during the 1920s and 30s when he was a prolific songwriter.
So you've researched him for a couple years.
Yes.
What fascinated you the most about him?
Well, I'm a big fan. I perform historic folk and blues music, and a lot of times that's very local. And so what really fascinates me is that these songs were written, performed, recorded on Edison cylinders in '78.
Wow.
But what's really exciting is that most of what we're singing on Thursday night hasn't been performed live in almost 100 years, and probably hasn't been heard except on Victrola 78s throughout the 30s when he was really popular. So it's very exciting to take a glimpse into his world.
You guys are very vested in preserving this history, aren't you?
Yes, we are. And it's been fascinating to peel back the layers of all the things we found out about his life.
Okay.
And very sincerely, we want to preserve it for forever so that people don't forget about the history that he contributed to here on the Eastern Shore.
And one thing about him was he was a ukulele player.
Exactly. He was a ukulele player, and he eventually thought that, you know, playing with bands, it's really tough to hear a ukulele. So he designed his own instrument, and it's called a wimbrola. And the wimbrola actually has an odd-shaped body to it and doubled two strings, so that, you know, they're playing into those big cones back then to do recording,
right,
in the hopes that that instrument would be a larger sounding instrument on the recordings. It actually did not play very well. And we have a very special instrument that will be on display Thursday night, thanks to Henry Robinson from Berlin, who has donated this instrument for us to share with people on Thursday night. It's very rare. It is a tenor guitar that is made in the style of a wimbrola, and it was only ever made as a prototype, never put into mass production.
How about that?
This is a one of a kind.
Exactly, it really is.
Wow. What do you think people will be most surprised to learn about him?
You know, he was so multifaceted. I mean, we give a short biography. I mean, I say that our talk Thursday night is half of a chapter. I mean, he had a military experience in World War I, where he was hit with mustard gas, which would play a point in his performance career coming to an end in the 30s. He became a newspaper man and even had a column in the Crisfield Times in the 30s. He and his wife were civic activists. There's a boat ramp named after them in Sebastian, Florida, where they retired.
There's a whole community named after them, where they actually settled the area. They got into real estate and newspaper. So yeah, there's the Wimbrow Park down there in Sebastian, Florida.
He was a cane carver. There was a little article in the newspaper where he carved walking canes, and he they were joking that he inadvertently started another business. He was immensely creative, and I think that he's so multifaceted, and he was a real civic activist. He was very mindful that wherever he was of the communities, but he was also hilarious.
Yeah.
And I've collected well over 100 newspaper articles. There's a great article about him leaving one of his wimbrolas on in a cab in New York City in the 1920s and causing a traffic jam in Midtown because he went running through traffic to try to get it.
Oh my goodness, so much to learn about him, and we can get it all on Thursday night.
That's right.
What time and where?
6:30 p.m. in the Worcester Room of the Commons building at Salisbury University. There's free parking in the Dogwood Drive lot, and the event is free, open to the public. We're also really delighted that numerous descendants of Dale Wimbrow will be there, and many of them will be hearing some of this music for the first time as well.
Very
That sounds so cool.
Doctors, thank you.
Yeah,
Our
thank
pleasure.
you so much.